JonBenét Ramsey appeared to live a dream life. Born into a wealthy family in Boulder, Colorado, she was a bright, cheerful 6-year-old who quickly became famous in local beauty pageants. With blonde hair, blue eyes, and a confident smile, she was often photographed wearing crowns and gowns, images that later became haunting symbols of her tragic fate. On Christmas Day, December 25, 1996, the Ramsey family celebrated the holiday peacefully. Friends later reported nothing seemed unusual. That night, JonBenét went to bed after returning home from a party. By the next morning, she would be dead, her body hidden inside her own home. This was not just a murder. It was the beginning of one of the most confusing, controversial, and emotionally charged investigations in American history. From the moment police arrived, mistakes were made. Evidence was contaminated. Suspicions shifted wildly. And as the years passed, the truth seemed to slip further away. What really happened inside the Ramsey house that night? And why, after decades, does the case remain unsolved? At 5:52 a.m., JonBenét's mother, Patsy Ramsey, discovered a handwritten ransom note on the staircase. The note demanded $118,000, an oddly specific amount matching John Ramsey's recent bonus. It warned the family not to contact police and claimed JonBenét had been kidnapped by a foreign faction. But something felt wrong. The note was nearly 3 pages long, unusually detailed for a ransom message. It appeared to have been written inside the house using the family's own stationery and pen. Experts later noted similarities between the handwriting and Patsy Ramsey's writing style, though no definitive match was ever proven. Despite the warning, police were immediately called. Officers arrived but treated the situation as a kidnapping rather than securing it as a crime scene. Friends were invited over, walking freely through the house. Crucial evidence was unknowingly destroyed. As hours passed with no ransom call, tension grew. Then, a devastating discovery would change everything. Around 1 p.m., John Ramsey went to search the house with a family friend. In the basement, he discovered JonBenét's lifeless body in a small storage room. She was wrapped in a blanket, with duct tape over her mouth and a garrote tied around her neck. The scene was horrifying. There were signs of strangulation and blunt force trauma to her head. Investigators later determined she had been killed hours earlier, meaning the ransom note was a lie. JonBenét had never left the house. John carried her body upstairs, further contaminating evidence. Police realized too late that the crime scene had been compromised beyond repair. Fibers, fingerprints, and footprints were lost. This single moment shifted the investigation from kidnapping to murder, but by then, it was already deeply flawed. The autopsy revealed chilling details. JonBenét died from asphyxiation caused by strangulation, combined with a severe blow to the head. Medical experts estimated the head injury occurred first, possibly knocking her unconscious, followed by strangulation minutes later. Tiny unidentified DNA traces were found on her clothing. Over the years, this DNA became the center of heated debate. Some believed it proved an intruder committed the crime. Others argued the DNA could have been transferred innocently during manufacturing. The garrote used in the murder appeared to be made from materials found inside the home, including Patsy's paintbrush. This raised even more disturbing questions. Despite the evidence, no clear suspect emerged. Instead, the case spiraled into suspicion, media chaos, and public outrage. Public attention quickly turned toward JonBenét's parents. Media outlets portrayed them as cold and evasive. Their televised interviews were heavily scrutinized. Small behavioral details, tone of voice, facial expressions, were interpreted as signs of guilt. Police investigated both John and Patsy extensively. A grand jury was convened, and while it voted to indict the parents on charges related to child abuse resulting in death, the district attorney refused to pursue the case due to insufficient evidence. The decision fueled conspiracy theories and divided the public. Were the Ramseys victims of a failed investigation, or were authorities protecting powerful people? Supporters of the intruder theory argue that an unknown person entered the home that night. Signs of a possible break-in, unidentified DNA, and the lack of a clear motive for the family are often cited. Several suspects were investigated over the years, including convicted criminals and obsessed fans. None were conclusively linked to the crime. Critics of this theory question how an intruder could spend so much time inside the house, write a long ransom note, and commit the murder without waking anyone. Others believe the crime involved someone inside the house. Some theories suggest an accidental injury followed by a staged cover-up. Others speculate about sibling involvement, though no evidence has ever supported this claim. These theories remain controversial and deeply emotional, especially given the lack of definitive proof. The Ramseys have consistently denied any involvement and were officially cleared by police in 2008. The JonBenét case became a media spectacle. Leaks, rumors, and speculation replaced facts. Boulder police were criticized for their handling of the investigation, and multiple agencies failed to coordinate effectively. As years passed, leads dried up. Witnesses moved on. Evidence degraded. The truth became harder to reach. Advances in DNA technology have renewed hope. JonBenét's father has publicly called for genetic genealogy testing similar to methods used in other cold cases. So far, no match has been found. But investigators believe the answer may still exist, waiting in a database somewhere. Nearly 3 decades later, JonBenét Ramsey's murder remains unsolved. Her case continues to haunt investigators, journalists, and the public. She was more than a headline. She was a child whose life ended violently, and whose killer has never been held accountable. Until the truth is revealed, this case will remain one of America's darkest mysteries.